I'm going to go through each of these individually. So we'll talk about pyramids, we'll do a few examples. We'll talk about cones, we'll do a few examples. We'll talk about spheres, we'll do a few examples, and that'll be it. Okay, this is another one of those days where it's a formula. You find what you need, plug it in, and you get an answer out. Okay? So very simple. If number one, you write down and use the correct formula. Number two, you put the right numbers in. And number three, you put the right things in your calculator. Bada bing, bada boom, you should get the right answer. So the first thing I want to talk about is what a pyramid is. Okay? You all know what a pyramid is. You don't even need to write down the definition if you do not want to. The formula I have here, I'm actually going to change it because how many of us like fractions? Not many people like fractions, right? So I'm going to make a formula. You don't have a fraction. So the formula for a pyramid is the big B again, so the area of the base, times the height, all divided by 3. Dividing by 3 and timesing by a third are the exact same thing. And a lot of us are more comfortable working this way than with that 1/3. So I think we'll just stick with this. You guys are fine with that? We'll just stick with this. All right, I'm going to do a few examples of this because think about a pyramid. What are some shapes that could be the base of a pyramid? Yeah, square. Square could be. What else? Triangle could be. Yeah, circle. What do you call them? Oh, yeah. Right? But yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. That's fine. You have rectangles. Okay, so those are the 3 main ones. Now, I know a lot of people get confused about this formula and pyramids. So we're gonna come back to this one. Let's do this as an example first. Okay. So if you notice, if you need to draw it, just something like this, and then you can pull your sides down, and then make sure you get in the measurements. This is 10, this is 8, and 6 is the height of it. If I were you, the first thing I would do when I'm done drawing it is I would write out what the formula looks like. And I'm going to use arrows to help me figure out each part of this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at that big B. We said the big B is the area of the base. What shape is the base on this? What shape? Square rectangle. If a square would be similar, like it'd be 10 and 10 or 8 and 8, but this is a rectangle. How do I find the area of that rectangle? What numbers am I going to use to find the area of that rectangle? Boston. 10 and 8. So 10 times 8, and what I get there is going to be what my big B is. That's the hardest part of any pyramid, is figuring out what that big B has to be. Big B has to be. A lot of B's there. Okay. Next, I'm going to multiply whatever the answer to my big B was times the height. What's the height of this whole pyramid? 6. Okay. Then I'm going to divide that whole thing by 3. So 80 times 6. 80 times 6. I think it's 4,811. Divided by 3. The answer should be 160 inches cubed. That's my first example. The next example I'm going to do is the one with triangle base. The ones with triangle bases are the hardest just because there's more involved when you have to find that big B. So let's go back. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to this one. Okay. If you want to draw this on your paper, you can draw it on your paper. If you want me to do it for you, I will do it for you. Okay. If you want me to draw it, just do something like this. Eight, 6. Color, height. So get that in, get that drawn. Do your best. It doesn't have to be like a Picasso or anything, right? Just like your best. So Some of these things are hard to draw. All right, so like I said before, easy thing to do, start with what the formula looks like. Then I'm going to find what my big B should be. So what shape is my base this time? Triangle. How do you find the area of a triangle again? What's the formula for area of a triangle? Kale? Base times height divided by 2. So what numbers am I going to use for that triangle there? Out.
8 times 6.
Times 6 divided by 2. That's going to give me what my big B is. I have so many people that get confused. Well, should we divide by 3 there? No. We're not dividing by 3 until we're completely done with this B and H. This is just finding that B. So that would be 48 divided by 2. So I believe your big B should be just 24. Then I'm going to take that. I'm going to multiply that by the height of the whole prism, which is 5. Then divide by 3. Because this is my big B, this is my H, there's my 24 times 5. 5 by. So you should end up with 40 centimeters cubed. Like I said, the ones with triangular bases are the hardest because there's more you have to do when you find that big B. That's the hardest. What questions do you have for me so far? Would you like to see any of these two again? Would you like to see a triangle one again, or do you want to see a square one? We have another square one, or do you want to see a rectangular one again? Any of those you want to see again? So you're telling me you have 2 good examples in your notebook, right? Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to cones. Oops. Okay, cones, you all know what a cone looks like. But again, I'm going to change the formula to make it easier for us. Okay? So this is what the formula I want you to use. Volume equals pi times radius times height, all divided by 3. These are the same things up here. Like this is the exact same. I'm just, instead of multiplying by a third, I'm dividing by 3, and I'm writing it all out so I can see everything I need to multiply. That's for all cones. Just for cones. Okay? Okay, let's give it a whirl. Let's give it a whirl. First thing I would do, I would seriously write out the formula. And put in everything I need to know first. Let's see. 3.4 times 5. My radius is 5. 5. Height is 7. All divided by 3. Like I said, it's pretty easy if you can find your right numbers, stick them in the formula, run your calculator. It makes it pretty much foolproof for you. Once you run it through your calculator, you should get approximately this. I'm rounding to the nearest 10th, by the way, but it was millimeters. You should get. If you're not sure, ask me, I'll let you know. Let's do one more cone. Do you have any questions on this one? Everybody get this answered? Does everybody know how they got it? How we got this? Just to make sure we're fine. You're taking 3 from 4, that's 5 times 5 times the height, all divided by 3. Okay. All right. Let's try another one. I'm going to add another cone, so we at least have 2 for everyone. Let's do the cone this side this time. Okay, there it is. There it is. because I gave you the diameter here, not the radius. I gave you the diameter, not the radius. See the radius is 3.5. There's 3.5. There's 10. All divided by 3. And they'll do that to you too. They're going to give you the diameter and make you change the radius. So make sure you're careful in reading these things. Sometimes they're going to give you pictures. Sometimes they're going to give it to you in word format. So you have to be kind of on your toes a little. Anybody want to share what they got? Anybody want to share? Boston?
128.
Yep, that's what I got. 2, and then what I say, inches. Cube. Any questions on cones? All right, let's go to the sphere. Sphere is like a 3-dimensional ball, baseball, softball, beach ball. That's what a sphere is. Okay. Formula. I'm going to change it again so we don't have to deal with fractions. This is what the formula for a sphere is. 4. Oops, how did that happen? Let's try again. 4 times pi times radius times radius times radius. All divided by 3. This is one we don't deal with a whole lot. We don't deal with spheres a ton. This is probably one of the only days, I can't remember if we find surface area of them or not, I can't remember. But we don't deal with them a whole lot. The one thing people forget here is they forget to multiply by 4 like they're used to doing like 5 and 3 like radius. They forget the 4. So make sure you're writing it all out when you need to figure out the answer. All right, let's try one. Anybody need this yet? All right, there it is. There it is. This has a radius of 8, not 3. Radius of 8, you can't see it. I want to let you know. It's a pretty big one. A big number. Anybody want to share? Anybody want to share? All right, Kay, let's hear it.
2,000.
What do you guys think? Sound pretty good? I'm represented inches. Yeah, there we go. Nice job. Way to go. Let's do one more. Last one. Then I'm done. I am done after this. Let's make it a big one. Make it a big one. Let's make the radius. What should we make the radius this time? Let's make it 20. 20 inches. All right, go for it. It's going to be a big number. It's pretty big. I feel like this would be on like a statue because a 20-inch radius is huge. It's like 20-inch radius. So it'd be about, this ball would be about this big in diameter. Don't forget to multiply by that 4 in the beginning. Don't forget to divide by 3. Somebody today will forget to divide by 3. I just know it. You did that already? Yep, you got it, remember about my three. You probably maybe even had it written down, and you just didn't do it. It's gonna be huge, it's like 33,000. Is that what it is? What is it, 33,000?
33,493.
Inches, huge, a lot of threes in there. That's it, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you today.